KTSM 9 News Now starts right now.
El Paso Water says it's continuing to work to make El Paso drought-proof. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Estela Casas. Thanks for choosing 9 News Now. New at 5. You may remember the utility has been trying for more than a decade to find ways to no longer depend on the Rio Grande for drinking water. Well, today we're getting a clear picture of what El Paso Water is doing to make that happen. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar spoke with water officials about this project. Jesus.
Estela, they tell me that they will always look first at the Rio Grande to see how much river water supply there will be any given year. But as El Paso continues to struggle with droughts year over year, they tell me adding wastewater as another source of drinkable water to their arsenal will be a game changer. Now, El Paso water officials say this is the largest direct potable reuse project in the country. The new facility will entail a rigorous four-step process to purify the wastewater that begins with membrane technology, reverse osmosis, ultraviolet disinfection with advanced oxidation, and finishes with granular activated carbon filtration. Now this will provide a fourth source of drinkable water for the borderland on top of the river water and fresh and desalted groundwater supplies. El Paso Water already makes good use of wastewater. Now they look to expand beyond that.
Wastewater is becoming incredibly valuable to desert communities all across the West, and it's being used for irrigation, golf course irrigation, park irrigation. That's kind of the first step that you would take. The technology is there, and the resource effluent in your community is there. So now we want to take advantage of that, and that's what El Paso's going to do with this purified water project.
According to El Paso Water, the facility will produce up to 10 million gallons of purified water per day and will allow them to conserve the Hueco Bolson aquifer. They also say this project will continue to place them at the forefront of innovation, highlighting that they already operate the largest inland desalination plant in the world. Now, Reiner tells me that like with their ground and river water, customers won't be able to taste a difference. 10 out of 10, I'll dive deeper into how this will affect customers for the next few years. For now, reporting from the Rio Grande, Jesus Baltazar, KTSM 9 News.
Okay, Jesus, thank you. Let's go ahead and send things over to our chief meteorologist, Robert Perez. He joined us live from Ruidoso for today's special segment, Rebuilding Ruidoso. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Estela. Live here in Ruidoso. We are very excited to present to you this afternoon, and especially in our 6-hour Rebuilding Ruidoso. Now, when you drive into town, you're going to go right through the heart of town and you're going to say, I don't see any damage. The trees are beautiful, the buildings are all here, but what changed is the number of people that are actually shopping and visiting Ruidoso. Take, for example, this spot on Sutterth Road right here. It's called the Four Seasons Mall. It's a little mall with shops inside, and normally it would be bustling. Even on a Wednesday, if it's summer, people are going to be here. Well, I'm going to take you inside. We're going to talk to a t-shirt maker who says business is horrible and it's time to come back. Let's talk weather. We just had a little shower come through Ruidoso. Tonight, I want to put in a slight chance of isolated storms in the area, even around the El Paso area for tonight, but a better chance tomorrow. 102 the high temperature for our Thursday. And the long-range forecast, oh, you're going to love it. I've got an 85 on there after a cool front. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're going to talk to another store owner coming up in just a little bit. Estela?
Okay, look forward to that, Robert. Thank you so much. At 4 minutes past 5 o'clock, we're going to take you outside El Paso to see how traffic is shaping up at this hour. This is I-10 US 54. No problems to report, although you can see that the traffic, normal traffic at this hour, is starting to build at the top of your screen. It's a little different on I-10 at Lee Trevino. There's also a slowdown, but not looking too bad right now. Fabian School District officials are now saying they've finished investigating a video that appears to show a student being hit with small sticks or pencils on a bus. KTSM first showed you this video last night. It was posted to a community group on Facebook. It's unclear from the video if the other people on the bus are students or adults. Fabens ISD is sending a statement saying, in part, quote, "Our investigation involved close collaboration with the Transportation and Security Department and interviewing all parties involved. As a result of this investigation, we are confident in the effectiveness of our current procedures." Officials did not say what role the person in the video was within, if this person had any to do with the district, or if they were even a student in the district. In our border report today, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was in Las Cruces today as a new GOP field opens its doors. The New Mexico Congressional District is one of the handful of districts that could decide control of the House in November's election. During his visit, Johnson threw his support behind former U.S. Representative Yvette Harrell, who is looking to reclaim her position from Democrat Representative Gabe Vasquez. Johnson said that she is a much-needed force in Washington. Meanwhile, Vasquez says he represents the people who live in the area.
Desperately need her back. I love Yvette. She's a great spirit. She's a fighter. She's a small business owner, a job creator. She's proven herself in the state legislature, and she did it in Congress as well. But we have a tough district here, right? The 2nd District of New Mexico is one of the big toss-up districts in the country. We're going to prove them wrong.
We need somebody from this district that represents 180 miles at the U.S.-Mexico border, that represents a district bigger than the state of Pennsylvania, somebody who shows up to places like Lordsburg or Deming or Las Cruces or Hobbs, that actually pays attention to their communities. And for me, it's the duty that I've chosen.
The National Republican Congressional Committee says a new field office they call a battle station will serve as a hub of the grassroots team in the area. A former Las Vegas politician from El Paso is telling his story on the stand as he faces murder charges. KTSM has been following the story closely. Robert Tellez is accused of stabbing investigative reporter Jeff German to death in 2022 after he wrote an article critical of Tellez. Earlier, a cell phone data expert did testify in his defense. Prosecutors have said they think Tellez left his phone at home the day German was killed, which they claim added to the mystery of where Tellez was during that time. During prosecutor questioning, the expert testified he found multiple incoming voice, text, and data messages on the phone, but nothing outgoing. Defense lawyers say records show that Tellez checked in at an athletic club that day.
Is it fair to say that the person who had this phone was in the area of the Planet Fitness?
Also speculation.
Sustained.
Does it appear that the cell phone was in proximity or in the area of the Planet Fitness?
Yes, that's definitely one of the locations where it could have been.
The prosecution rested its case Monday after calling 28 witnesses to the stand over 4 days of testimony. If convicted, Tellez faces life in prison. We'll continue to bring you the latest on the trial and Tellez's testimony on air and online at ktsm.com. Next month, a new state law is set to take effect to require parental permission for social media. The law aims to protect minors from harmful online content by requiring age verification and tighter controls on content deemed dangerous for kids. But it's facing a lawsuit from First Amendment advocates who say the restrictions could burden free speech. Supporters of the law say the new rules could save lives, but opponents say the restrictions are too broad.
We have to keep the pressure on. It's obvious that social media companies are not going to monitor themselves. They have already demonstrated that.
But what happens when the state adopts a monolithic solution like this is that it throws the baby out with the bathwater, that it throws all of the benefits out with the supposed harms. And it's like saying you can't go into the library because some books in there may be bad for you.
The law passed the Texas legislature with overwhelming bipartisan support last year, but it may face delays as these challenges make their ways through the courts. Ruidoso is a town scarred by wildfires, but its spirit remains unbroken. Coming up, we take you inside the efforts to rebuild the beloved town as residents come together to turn tragedy into hope. Thanks for watching KTSM 9 News Now, putting local first.
Local Weather Authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
I'm live in Ruidoso, New Mexico. Of course, we're doing Rebuilding Ruidoso, following up on the town and showing you why you need to come back and spend your money again. We're in the little Four Seasons Mall at Wildwood Hoodies, Tees, and More. And they make their own hoodies, tees, and more. And Estella, I have a couple of things for you. That's really nice. I know you love the color pink. Here's one that I think you'll enjoy. It's called Bad Choices Make Good Stories. I'll let you decide if you want to wear that one or not. And of course, then we have one right here that says, I flexed and the sleeves fell off. I guess this shirt would be mine, and this shirt right here would be Estella's. A cute shop filled with great stuff. Bottom line is, they really need you to come back. From Lubbock, from El Paso, from everywhere, it's open for business. Let's take a look at your forecast. Now, we're still going to be hot in El Paso. 102, the high temperature for tomorrow. Now, tomorrow we'll have a better chance of thunderstorms. We'll have a chance of thunderstorms on Friday as well. As we cruise into the weekend, better chance of late day storms on Saturday with a high temperature of 101, 100 on Sunday. Slight chance of storms. Our best chance of rain actually comes in on Monday as the high temperature drops to 96. The high pressure zone is gone, and look what it does to the week ahead. On Tuesday, 92 degrees with a couple of showers, and then mid-90s again if the long range data holds together. 85 degrees by Friday. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Of course, somebody who lives the dream every single day is Tony Castaneda of Wildwood Hoodies, Tees, and More. It's always so beautiful up here. And you're not flooding anymore. It's just gorgeous.
No, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah, and when we get floods, we get it an hour tops. Nothing too bad. Yeah.
All right, bottom line is, how's business?
Slow, really slow. We need everyone to come back. That's all it is.
Okay, so the fire did a number on people's psyche, because I think they stayed away initially because they didn't want to get in the way.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, it just, a lot of people, I believe, are still freaked out. They don't want to come right now. They don't know if it's safe. We're here.
Yes.
Everything's fine.
Everything is open.
We get rain, everything's open, and we're perfectly fine.
Yeah, it was a perfect little shower outside.
Yeah, it was
and it was nice.
Yeah,
it looks gorgeous.
Yes.
Of course, a little bit later, we're going to see some of the areas that were not so good. These are neighborhoods that really were battered. Yes. But bottom line, the businesses are ready to receive you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, what have you got right there?
So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to make you a shirt.
You are?
Yeah, it's custom, so it only takes 10 seconds.
Did I see a Zia?
Yes, it's a Zia.
How did you know I was a New Mexican?
You know, I've kind of figured,
just
man. I kind of knew, man.
You saw the hair, you saw the attitude and the sense of humor, and you went, he's got to be from space. I mean, New Mexico. Okay.
And so after this, it's already done.
Just like that?
And just like this.
Oh my gosh, Tony, that's fantastic.
Yep.
All right.
And then that's it.
Sir, thank you so much.
And it's that quick too.
All right,
so
I love
perfect.
it. Thank you, Tony,
no
for
worries,
sharing.
Man.
We appreciate it. You stay with KTSM 9 News, and I've got your Bad Choices shirt, Estella.
Back in June, the village of Ruidoso was scorched with not just one but 2 wildfires. Days later, heavy rains caused severe flooding. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll bring you a 1-hour special, Rebuilding Ruidoso. KTSM is dedicating an hour to show how residents and businesses in the village are working to rise from the ashes. Monica Cortez and Andy Morgan join us live with a preview of Rebuilding Ruidoso. Hi there.
Hey there, Estella. That's right. That's what we do here at KTSM, is putting local first. And of course, after those devastating wildfires hit, as well as the flooding that happened just days later, we of course were on the scene. We came up here and covered all the evacuations that were taking place for both the wildfires as well as the flooding. Now we're back up here shining a spotlight and highlighting the recovery efforts and rebuilding Ruidoso and showing you exactly how the economy is faring and what you can do to help at home.
That's right. So we're going to have a whole special in our 6 o'clock hour about just that. But we do have our very own Tirza Ortiz, who was on the ground, and she was able to get a better look at how Ruidoso is doing economically. Check it out.
This is historic. It's unprecedented. We've had small fires here before. We had a big one 12 years ago, the Little Bear. And so it's just hard to plan for these kind of things. When you're drowning, you know, nothing's fast enough. You know, and when someone's trying to save a life, every second counts, and that's the way we feel about this.
making every second count as the village of Ruidoso rebuilds from the ruins left behind in the wake of both the South Fork and Salt fires. From thousands of structures lost to the flames to hundreds more succumbing to floods, Mayor Lynn Crawford says navigating to normalcy is an obstacle in itself.
It's frustrating because of bureaucracy, an ocean of red tape. The local folks that we have, I know they're really working hard to get these things done, and a lot of the decisions that we need to be made are made in Washington, D.C. or at other levels. And so we need those to really speed up, working with our folks in the state and also in the county, because there are no defensible space ordinances. We do have them. So those ordinances, looking at building materials, also speeding up plan approval and everything through the construction industry division, working on plan reviews to get those in and get those out as quickly as the lots are cleared and safe to be built on, so that we can get these people back in their homes as soon as possible. But it's going to be a while.
Road closures, bridge fixtures, and debris removal. Despite the number of agencies involved in the cleanup process, Mayor Crawford says Ruidoso's main opposition at this time is an annual weather pattern.
As you can well imagine, every time we have a flood, it changes the course of the river and the floodplain. And so these are things that are so difficult. And unfortunately, we're told that we're not going to be able to really make a lot of headway on that until after monsoons.
The fast-moving floodwater taking with it key tourist attractions that residents rely on driving the economy forward.
We've totally lost the racetrack at this point. We've had to move all of our big stakes races and everything to Albuquerque, and so a lot of the business that goes along with the track is gone for the summer. And then we hear about Ski Apache, which is up on top of Sierra Blanca in the background here. The road has been damaged so bad that we don't even know if we're going to be able to have a ski season.
Mayor Crawford sending a direct message to anyone who wants to see the village thrive again.
A lot has happened. A lot is starting to happen as far as recovery efforts, restoration and recovery, and a lot needs to happen. So we need you to come in, sit down with our businesses, listen to the stories, talk to the people, and just be helpful to our businesses. That's what's going to get us through this.
And joining us now is the mayor of the village of Ruidoso, Mayor Lynn Crawford. Thank you so much for being here with us and shining a light on exactly how the rebuilding efforts are going.
Glad to be here, Andy, Monica, El Paso. We're certainly glad to be here, and we're tickled you guys are here.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. And you were talking about how a lot has to happen for us to get back on our feet. But my biggest question is, what can the El Paso community do to help Ruidoso?
Well, just keep doing what El Paso's always done, supporting our businesses, coming to our beautiful community, make phone calls, get to your favorite short-term rental, your hotel rooms, restaurants, all of our shops in Midtown. That's what we really need, and a lot of positive things that are coming to town, and we just want them to be a part of it.
And that's definitely something that we saw as we kind of drove through town here on Southern, is Ruidoso is open. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and you talk about support, the support of local businesses. How are you and not only the state government but federal government supporting local business here, is making sure they get through these kind of turmoils, as well as the employees of these small businesses?
Well, and that's a big factor, and I tell you right now, that part of it's moving real slow, working with the federal government, red tape, bureaucracy, but we're starting to make progress. We, thank you to the people of El Paso and around the state, and in fact around the country, that have donated to our local foundation, because that money, which is almost $2 million right now, has gone directly across the table, just like here, to people that are in dire need. So we really appreciate that, and that's still the best way to help those. We are working on long-term recovery efforts. Individual assistance has already gone out in the tune of about $6 million to individuals, some businesses. We have SBA short-term low-interest loans, our long-term low-interest loans. But really what we need to do is get money, grants into these businesses' coffers. We need to help them stabilize so that they can stabilize it for their employees and for the entire community, because school's back in session, a lot of the parents work, and they need that income.
All right, real quickly, 10 seconds. Ski Apache, yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. The road will be finished hopefully this weekend.
That's great news.
You bet.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Crawford, thank you so much for joining us, and make sure you're tuning in at 6 o'clock for our 1-hour special, Rebuilding Ruidoso.
We'll be right back.
Here's the last look at the forecast. Now tomorrow, 102 degrees, 102 on Friday. We'll have a chance of isolated late-day thunderstorms. That chance of storms follows us into the weekend ahead. Long-range data, if it holds together, we'll have a high temperature of 85 on Friday as a cold front comes in, and oh, will that feel good. It would feel exactly like it is in Ruidoso right now, which is cloudy. We had a little shower earlier. It's 84 degrees. Now, Estella, just a preview of what's coming. I've shown you the good side of Ruidoso. When we come back at 6 o'clock, we're going to tour some damaged homes and some neighborhoods that really were affected. I'm going to have that for you at 6 o'clock, so stay with us.
Okay, Estella? You guys are doing a great job out there, Robert. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned.